In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master of the Day of Requital. Thee do we serve, and Thee do we beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed favors, not of those upon whom Thou wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray. Ameen. Brothers and sisters, I greet you in the words of peace, expressed in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum. I bring peace upon you. And the proper response is wa alaikum salam, which means peace upon you too. I bring peace upon you, brothers and sisters, because I know there was suffering today. Here we are in 2020. I won't even bother giving the date because I think the date is very insignificant. But we are better than 3/4, or rather better than 1/4 of the way in this year, 2020. Almost toward the mid part of the year. And this has been some of the most bloody months. Some of the most bloody months that the African born in America and the African people, black and brown people around the planet, has witnessed. The white man is on a rampage, brothers and sisters. Whose fault is that? It's not the fault of the mere 2 billion black people, or rather 6 billion black and brown people of the world. It's not our fault, brothers and sisters. But the white man is on a rampage because he's a devil who has been sent here to torture us. To torture us. And we are being tortured daily. We are being tortured daily. Their demonic father has sent them here to torture us, and we're being tortured daily. Brothers and sisters, there's a message for the black man and woman. There is a message for the black man and the black woman from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Message to the black man in America. What do we seek? Freedom, justice, equality, and Islam. For we know that we will have independence and total and complete separation from this white man who continues to lie, deceive, manipulate, and torture us. Brothers and sisters, the only answer that we have today, where can you go? Where can you go that you will not find this devil nipping at your heels? Where can you go? For any place that you go, the white man has invaded, even in the forms of religion, not just physically, but psychologically, literally. He has invaded every form of education and every form of communication that you would have with the one true God. It was Allah in the form of the person of Master Farad Muhammad. Peace be upon him. And peace be upon the great preacher who came to us, whose slave name was Elijah Poole, but he put that name away. He didn't use that name. For Poole was the last name of his slave master. But he had been given a name with honor, dignity, pride, self-respect. We know him as Muhammad. the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is the messenger of Allah, the true messenger of Allah. We bear witness that what he has told us is the complete truth of how the black man and woman in America can build themselves up and change their destiny. I'd like to read to you from Message to the Black Man in America, page 220, Land of Our Own and Qualification, the unity of, at that time, 22 million black people, or so-called Negroes. The unity of 22 million so-called Negroes up from slavery is the answer to our salvation. We are suffering untold torture and murder at the hands of our enemies, the children of our slave master, because of the lack of unity. The cause of this lack of unity among us is due to the work and teaching of our enemies, the slave master's children. Our slave master's children have reared our fathers and mothers to be enemies of each other. They have destroyed our love of self and kind. They have educated us to hate and refuse all that goes for black people. It's amazing, brothers and sisters, that the same thing that is happening today has been happening for some time in America. And it is most unfortunate. But do we have a choice, brothers and sisters? Or out of blindness and ignorance, are we falling into the ditches of fear sent to us by the white man? Are we walking in darkness or being led in darkness as a fear tactic by the same enemy that keep us down? This is a great question, brothers and sisters. Why are we going through the things that we're going through? Do we have control over these things? This is very important. Very important. This is something that we should be asking ourselves. And our conclusion should not take us long, for our lives are depending on it. We'll go to page 222, or rather 221, a message to the black man, in the beginning of the last paragraph of that chapter. And it reads on this wise: how can we unite? That is the question. So you say that we cannot unite and produce our own necessities? We are 22 million or more people depending on the white American citizen to produce food, clothing, shelter, transportation, employment, and our educational training. And if they, white American, do not share equally with us, we charge them with discriminating. Some of us will go to the extreme of disgracing ourselves and trying to force the white American citizen to give us equal respect. The love of self and self-respect, along with the will to do something for self, is giving a chance, will get you the respect of all civilized nations. It is a shame and disgrace to the intelligence of any people to lie at the feet and doorstep of another nation asking, praying to be cared for. Love and unity to self and kind is the key to our salvation. All praises be to Allah. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has already told us that the love of self, the appreciation of self, and self-kind, in other words, others that are connected to you in this oppressive chain, is the only answer that we have today in being set free. You and I, brothers and sisters, look like a fool asking this white man to free us. We look like fools asking the white man to employ us. And we look like bigger fools asking the white man to be fair with us when it is the white man who has put us in the situation that we're in. Brothers and sisters, today is the time that we must open our eyes and open our mind and open our hearts. Today. For Allah said, the day that you hear my voice, harden not your hearts. And it's time for us to open our mind, open our eyes, and open our hearts so we can see what situation we're in, concentrate to do for self, and to come out of this situation. And our answer, I tell you, is immediate. They have killed George Floyd. This is not an isolated incident, but this is the incident that has continued the entire time. Just a few notes that I have for you. We protest, but it is not in vain. What is the need of our protest? What is the meaning of our protest today? One might be surprised. The white man has fear, and I like to explain these fears before you and try to go through these 6 prompts enough so that you can understand exactly what's going on. Because I think it's important for you to understand what's going on so that you will know where you fit into this world picture. Where else can the black man go? Where else can he go other than Muhammad? Where else can he go? For I bear witness that there is only one God. It's only one God, and Muhammad is his messenger. I bear witness to that. There's only one God, and Muhammad is his messenger. And that message rings true whether you're in the Christian church, which is the slave teaching in the Christian church. Because if you're in the Christian church, that means that your forefather was on a plantation where he held this Christian religion, and under it, the denominations that you served were the denominations that you worshipped on the plantation where that Christian religion was taught to you. So the white man taught you the lie of Christianity and had you subjugated, divided, or organized in different denominations of lies taught under one religion. That's why I tell you that the white man, through Billy Graham, strengthened white nationalistic Christian teaching, because Billy Graham was a white nationalist preacher, a white nationalist Christian preacher. That's a fact, whether you accept it or not. Whether you accept it or not, that's a fact. And he would encourage, embolden, and improve the grip, the satanic grip that white racism through the Christian church had on black and brown people and other kinds of people associated with black and brown people. But Muhammad's message of deliverance does not put you in a convulsion and have you jumping up and down and busting your head on the floor, acting a fool, brothers and sisters. Ignorance, acting a fool and hurting yourself for the debut performance of hypocrites. No, Muhammad's message is very plain. In Muhammad's message, it teaches the black man to become conscious and aware, to study, to show thyself approved unto God Allah. A messenger need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, and to look at your physical situation and to improve it immediately. If you don't have a job, Muhammad makes you get a job. If you don't have a holy and sanctified life, Muhammad makes you clean up your life. You are under the power of alcoholism. Muhammad makes you overcome the power of alcoholism. If you're a drug addict, Muhammad makes you overcome the power of drugs. No matter what it is, Muhammad teaches you to overcome that, mentally changing you and spiritually raising you from a dead level to a live one. The white man is afraid today, brothers and sisters. As George Floyd was killed, the white man is afraid today. My heart goes out to the brother because he was in a relationship with one of the most dirty devils on the planet, the white man's woman. And Muhammad told us that this would be the last trick that the white man will use, that he will use his woman. Muhammad told us that, and we look around the world every day and we find this to be true. From the basic level to the professional level, once the black man achieves distinction, whether it be in sports, business, or whatever it may be, the white woman comes as a well-dressed whore for success, takes the black man under her grip, and begins to slowly deteriorate him, slowly bring him to death. Some of the death is catastrophic. I tell you, brothers and sisters, it pained me to read that when this brother had lost his life, that his white wife or his white fiance or whatever she may have been got on media and asked black people to forgive this white man who had just murdered him by putting his knee on his neck for all the world to see. She got on media not speaking up for George Floyd, not speaking in honor of George Floyd and seeking the death penalty for the white man that killed him. No, brothers and sisters. No, sir. No, ma'am. She got on there to ask you and I to forgive this devil that had taken the life of our brother. Now, that says a whole lot in a nutshell about the white woman. It's shameful. I read in another, as George Floyd had gotten killed, I read somewhere else that someone else had gotten killed. There were at least 20 deaths. Many of them were polarized, but there were so many that were not polarized. There was a black police chief who was married to another white devil, a she-devil, white she-devil. And his life was taken, and she said nothing in response of his life being taken and how difficult it was upon her, because the white people are used to death. The white woman is used to death. She'll kill her children. She'll kill her husband. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. She's one of the most selfish beings on this planet, and that's a fact. I'm just being honest, brothers and sisters. I'm just being honest. The only way that she isn't that way is that she learned a different way. And there's very few of them that learn or will accept a different way. There are very few of them that will accept life over death. It's the reason why so many white women have killed their children. If you remember, Susan Smith said that a black man years ago, polarized on the camera, said that a black man had kidnapped her kids and drove a car into the water. Said the black man took her car, kidnapped her kids, and drove her car into the water. The white man, knowing how the black woman is and what kind of woman she is and what kind of beast she is, did not accept that. Found the car, found the children, and charged that woman for murder. So he knows, the white man knows. He knows how dirty the white woman is. The black man doesn't know. See, well, those of us with our eyes open do know. If you follow Muhammad, you know. If you've been under the teachings of Muhammad, you know. But ignorant black men and women do not know. They try to protect these devils. There are black women marrying white men and white women marrying black men and black men marrying white women and black women marrying white men. And I can't do anything about who you marry. That's your business. But it's my duty to tell you the truth. It's my duty to build with you and to tell you that if you don't stop your reckless cause, if you don't stop your reckless life, you are dealing with an enemy that will end your life and is ending your life every day through brothers and sisters who are completely innocent, who have done no wrong, who are trusting them. The history has told us that you can't trust a white man. No matter what you do, you can't trust him. He doesn't love you. He can only lie to you. He doesn't respect you. He enslaved you to use you, abuse you, and then kill you. That's what the devil comes to do, to kill, steal, and destroy. He killed you physically. He's killing you every day. Stole you from your land. Kidnapped you from Africa. And destroyed your sense of self-pride and dignity. Destroyed it. Destroyed your sense of culture. And African cultivations just destroyed it. How can you trust this man? He's not worthy of your trust. Not worthy of your respect. He's worthy to be hated. Worthy to be hated. So we protest when we see these killings. And this is the most aggressive protest that we have today in this decade of the 21st century. This decade of the 21st century, in 2020. This is the most extreme protest that you've ever witnessed in your life. There's a reason for that. The black man is tired of dying. He's tired of being killed. He's tired of being lied to. He's tired of democracy because he knows that democracy is nothing but hypocrisy here in America. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad had already told us, has already led us. He's already told us that the white man is not to be trusted. He's been killing ever since he landed on African shores. Enslaving ever since he landed on African shores. Lynching ever since he landed on African shores. Kidnapping, hanging, dragging, and yes, even eating our very flesh. Yes, brothers and sisters. I tell you that we are in trouble and we are trapped today. The only answer that we have is Allah. And the only teacher that we can depend on and respect is the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Muhammad teaches from the heart, preaches from the mind, and delivers from the spirit. The great prophet cares about the black race so much that he was willing to dedicate his entire life. Brothers and sisters, it's time for us to wake up. His present representative, the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, has told us that we can win this war if we fight. We can win this war if we fight. If we physically fight, we can win this war. There's no such thing as a bloodless revolution, brothers and sisters. Honorable Minister Malcolm X told us that. He showed us that there's no sense. You're foolish if you think that there's anything called a bloodless revolution. Revolutions are bloody, brothers and sisters. When will you learn? These protests are growing in rage because the young men and women of our societies are opening their minds and their hearts and their understanding with spiritual feed, their understanding what must happen. What many of our ancestors had put off for so long, we as young people are understanding what must happen and what we must do. And we're willing to die and willing to kill in self-defense to be free. Police is around attacking your brother, your sister. You do yourself and that brother and sisters a disservice. Taking pictures with your phone or recording with your phone. Cameras and whatnot. That's only part of the answer. The other part of it is to be armed and to kill that police or kill those polices, because you have them outnumbered before they kill that brother or sister. If you're not talking about killing this aggressor that is killing you every day, brother and sister, you're on the right track. You're on the wrong track. If you're not talking about taking his life before he kills another brother or sister, brother and sisters, I tell you, you're on the wrong track. If you think we've come here to tell you to love the white man, you've come to the wrong place. You're listening to the wrong sermon. You're listening, searching for the wrong words. If you come here for us to tell you to respect the white man, I say again, you come to the wrong place. You come from the wrong sermon. You come from the wrong words. We tell you to hate the white man and hate his ways. God hates. How's it that God hates and you don't hate? Brothers and sisters, you have been duped. You have been duped. God hates. The white man hates. Every other person on the planet that's got in his sense hate except the black men and women in America who have not learned to hate the white man, who's a source of all of your trouble, all of your ills, all of your trials and tribulations. This devil that has taken you into slavery, enslaved you and I, enslaved you and I, murdered you and I, millions upon that float, bones that float in the bottom of the sea, settled at the bottom of the sea. Some of those bones wash up on other shores, thousands of miles away, overtaken by currents. Many of them that jumped overboard because they were not willing to go to a new country as a slave. And this white man didn't take the lower African. He took the best kings and queens and forced us into slavery. Our ancestors, leaders, kings, queens, rulers. And he sought to make an example out of us. He sought to break us, brothers and sisters. He's looked over the years, thousands of years, and we still have not been broken. Black man and black woman, the people of God, cannot be broken. Oh, you may be displaced, but you can't be broken because the Spirit of God, Allah, is in you. And the spirit of nature is in an uproar because of your situation and the condition that the white man has put you in, you and I, in this bondage. Why is the white man so afraid? I'm glad you asked. There's a shift concerning race. There's shifts in the governing bodies. There's shifts in racial power. All the people has the true power, and you and I are seeing this today. Who are the people? You and I are the people. We're the ones in bondage. We're the oppressed. We're the downtrodden. We're the mistreated. You and I. If Jesus was here today leading protests, if he was here today in sedition, speaking sedition and teaching sedition against the present rulers of the day, he wouldn't be in the white church. He would be among the oppressed people. You and I are the oppressed people. Jesus was a slave. He was oppressed. First in the Greek system, the Jews, the true Jews and Palestinians were oppressed. Then under the Romans, they were oppressed and murdered, killed, and slaughtered with the guillotine and put in a lion's den to fight the lions, dressed as gladiators to fight each other to the death. This man is bloody. The white man is bloody. All he respects is war and blood. He doesn't respect you until you're ready to take his life and take his life. Then you will gain the white man's respect. He doesn't understand peace. He doesn't worship peace. He doesn't desire peace. All he desires is destruction. Every place on this planet he's ever been, he's literally killed and plundered and overtook those places in blood. Went to them with trickery, mockery, and this Christian teaching, and overtook them unawares. And our ancestors had told us better. Our ancestors told us better, but brothers and sisters, we wouldn't listen. Well, now the ancestors are talking to you again. And they're telling you to rise up and fight. Rise up, you great African, and fight. Defend yourself. Defend your keep. Your keep is your nation, your brotherhood, your sisterhood. Your keep is your children that this devil is murdering. You and I do God a dissatisfaction and disfavor, brothers and sisters, not killing someone who's come upon our family. God is not pleased with us. Here you are, you calling on God, and that man that's killing you is calling on God. Your God is telling you to fight. You calling on the wrong God. Ask them to have mercy. You should be asking that God to make a way. The old folk. The old folks. Our ancestors will be said, Lord, make a way somehow. But they kept their knives. They kept their guns. They kept their strangle rope. The reason you and I are free today is because they overran the plantation and started killing the master. Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman and many others start killing the master. Denmark Vesey had one white man that came along, John Brown. Figured he would kill the masters of slavery. He was a white preacher who heard the real truth from that black God. Harper's Ferry, he desired to kill the white man to free the slave and leave a slave revolt, slave rebellion. You start killing your enemy, there's some white folks that would, if they knew that by doing this, we'd be through this racism and this wicked and embarrassing time in our history, they help you kill. To get it over with. To get it over with, and no need of you being gracious to them when they're protesting with you, or if they will kill another white man for you. He owes you that. He owes you that. You're not beholden to him. White people have brought you into slavery and mistreating you and all of that. If you mean real freedom, if a white friend of yours is true and he's really serious about bringing you freedom, the best thing he can do for you is to fight his kind that is supporting racism and give his life that you might be free. It's the only thing that he can do. Other than that, he ain't doing nothing but jiving and wasting your time. The white man does not love you. Brothers and sisters, when are you going to wake up and see this? Jane Elliott, white woman, white teacher in the late 60s, had been teaching school for years, have been saying this for years. In her research of brown-eyed blue eyes, her experiments of brown-eyed blue eyes, she's been saying this for years, that the white man is racist. Brothers and sisters, here's a white woman. Here's a white woman that has told you that the white man is racist. I think she is qualified, well qualified, more so than you and I who are black and brown people and kind. She is more qualified to explain to us the racism of the white race. And yet you still make the mistake of running there, hoping that the white man will love you and receive you. Brothers and sisters, it's time for you to leave this childishness and to grow up. And realize that if you don't fight to get your way out of this bondage that you're in, if you don't shed blood, if you are not willing to shed blood, that you're going to be in this bondage, or you will perish in this bondage from brothers and sisters who are willing to shed blood. If you with your white friends and haven't found out what side of history to be on, then you will die with them. Just like Moses, when he was delivering the children, or rather delivering the people, the Jews, out of bondage, according to the lesson that is taught by Moses as he leaves Egypt. In his record, it says that Moses told Pharaoh to let his people go. Those that wanted to stay and those that wanted to come. And God had to separate. See, only God can separate the wheat from the tare. All people may look the same, brothers, but they're not the same. You got brothers that look black, but act and think white. It's a danger to your cause. And once you've gotten the white people out of your camp, you got to get these chocolate-covered white people. My Lord. Chocolate-covered crackers out of your camp. You got to get them out of your camp so that you can progress and go on into the land of Canaan. Go on into the promised land. A land of your own, laws of your own, around people of your own. Where you can do for self without any aid or any interruption from the white devil.